So here's the question. As a real estate investor, how do you build a business that you're excited to show up to every day while you constantly grow your stream of passive income that you and your family can depend on for life without having to leave your computer or even live somewhere that houses are affordable? That's the question, and this podcast will give you the answers. Welcome to the Virtual Real Estate Investing Podcast with your host, Brian Elwood.
Everybody, welcome back to another episode of the show. Glad to have you guys and gals here. I just got back from a great trip to Nashville, Tennessee, and then I went on to Spartanburg, South Carolina to see my grandma. And while I was in Nashville, I looked at a couple of deals that we're actually going to be buying, one this week and one in a few weeks. So when I'm in town, it's always nice to put eyes on a property or maybe do a drive-by of it even, just to kind of see what I'm getting my hands into. But if I'm not there, I don't really worry about that too much, and my team, does a great job of looking at the deals for me. Another thing that was real cool when I was back in Nashville was I got to have dinner with a guy who I've known for quite a while, and he's a smart business guy, successful, has money, and is looking to invest his money in some things other than stocks, something for a more of a predictable, longer term return. And so I knew that I could give him what he wanted, and we had kind of just maybe discussed it casually over the phone or email, but I didn't go too deep into it ever when we were communicating via those formats because I knew better. Instead, I arranged a sit down with him to go out to a nice restaurant that he liked when I was back in town. And if my voice sounds even extra nasally today, guys, I'm sorry. I caught something when I was in Nashville, and I'm not quite over it yet. I was the super annoying guy yesterday, blowing his nose on the plane the entire flight, which I can't stand when someone else does it. And today I was that guy, or yesterday. So apologize for that. Anyways, I scheduled a dinner with him, and we met there, and we got some drinks, we got appetizers. We spent probably a good at least 20 to 30 minutes just catching up and seeing how the other one was doing. It was very natural, just like you would have dinner with an old friend. Even though this guy's, 30 years older than I was, we get along pretty well. And no mention of the business whatsoever, even though we knew that's ultimately what we were there to discuss. And by the time it was brought up, I let him bring it up. It was very natural and didn't feel like it was the entire purpose of our dinner, but instead just kind of an agenda item that we were going to knock out. And so even once we started to talk about it, I kind of brought the focus back to what his goals were and asking him what kind of return he was hoping to get, and if loaning against a house with the house as collateral is something that he would be interested in, and offered him a great interest rate and low risk loan to value, even lower than what a bank loans. So long story short, we got the deal done, and we basically got it done over a bunch of jokes and laughs and some really good food. And I kind of had an epiphany that I just wanted to share with you guys on this episode because, I'm a big fan of all the famous gangster movies and all that stuff, and they always seem to do business over a meal and drinks with the guys, right? The guy I met with, actually, we originally were going to sit in a booth, and he's like, "Nah, let's sit at a table. Men do business at tables," which that was his kind of theory on it or whatever, but he's got experience doing business over dinner. And I don't really have experience doing business over dinner. But when I think back on it, a lot of the times where I've secured a really strong relationship that's going to help me, like this guy, could potentially loan me on a lot of rental properties in the next, 5 years and really help explode my portfolio. But those key relationships are hard to grow just via email or text or really even over the phone. If it's a really powerful potential relationship, just schedule to meet them in person. You might be scared to do this or whatever, but that's even more of a reason to do it, because the more of these you have, the easier it gets. And hey, you can always drink if you're nervous. Just don't drink too much. It's not really a good long-term habit to get in the habit of, but you can do it for the first couple meetings to get over your nerves. I'm a musician and I play live music at restaurants and bars and stuff like that. And the first probably 10 gigs I played, I drank to get used to, the feeling of being up there in front of all these people and the nerves. The first gig I ever did, I drank probably a lot and the second one. But over time, I didn't have to drink at all to be up there. And so it's not the greatest coping strategy. I don't want to turn you guys into alcoholics, but I'm also not opposed, to people doing that if that's what it's going to take to get them over their fears, to do something that's going to be really great for their lives. So, yeah, just guys, men and women like to do business with people that they like. And so it's important to grow your relationship and your friendship with the people you do business with. And it's really hard to do that via email. It's a lot better to have a dinner meeting. And another cool thing about that is that, we only live once. Why not have a good time doing business? Why not, instead of boardrooms with bright neon lights and stress and tension, why not get business done over some beers or a bottle of wine and some really good food in a laid back environment? Isn't that just having your cake and eating it too in this world? If you can do business that way, if you can secure partners that can make you millions of dollars, at a restaurant, why not do it that way? It's your life. It's your business. You get to do things the way you want to do them. And history has kind of proven that people like to do business in an environment that kind of offsets the formality of business. I met with my right-hand man, Danny, last week when I was in Nashville, where he lives in Columbia, and we went for a walk, to talk about our business instead of sitting in the office. And it's much nicer to go on a walk and talk about things than it is to sit and stare at each other across a table. Again, create comfortable environments for discussions about business. It makes everything easier. You don't have to play by the rules. And if you look at a lot of the most successful business guys, they're having fun and they're doing deals over dinner. If you guys follow the UFC at all, I'm a big mixed martial arts fan. Dana White is the president. Love him or hate him, he's a successful business guy. And he reportedly goes to the steakhouse 3 times a week and does business deals there. And it seems like He's always just going to another steak dinner, doing another business deal. And that's kind of his format. He flies to other cities to have dinner with people. Like when he has a conflict with one of his key fighters or something, sometimes he'll get on a jet and fly there to meet them face to face and take them to dinner and talk about the issue. And how cool is that? First of all, it kind of implies that you care. Dana White is kind of an asshole, okay, for anyone who knows who he is. I'm not really saying he's the best example, but there's business books that have been written about CEOs of really successful companies like Southwest or Walmart who really did care and really would jump on planes to go see one of their team members if they got sick or they were in the hospital or if they had to meet them for something. Richard Branson is famous for doing this and promoting this advice. So guys, don't undervalue the importance of a face-to-face meeting. If there's somebody that's really powerful and they're taking the time to meet with you, why not just book a flight and say, I'm going to come to you and I'm going to take you out to the restaurant of your choice on the night of your choice? Wouldn't that mean a lot to somebody that you came to their city just to see them? You could plan other stuff while you're there so that it's more of a productive trip than just that. But you don't have to tell them that. I'm getting more and more, where I love traveling and meeting people face to face and having dinners with people and less of the rigid kind of email and that kind of format of communication. Because businesses are nothing more than groups of people getting work done. And the stronger bond you have with your group of peeps, the better results you're going to have. Thank you guys so much for listening. And grab your copy of my free book, fireyourself.net. You're going to hear the promo for that right after this. Again, peace. Have a great day. See you on the next one.
Want more? Get your free copy of Brian's book that is changing real estate businesses everywhere. Just go to www.fireyourself.net. Also, register for your free virtual real estate investing online masterclass at virtualinvestingclass.com.